Hey guys, we are live at lunch. Woo woo! So excited. So excited about this. I love Periscopes. I'm starting to love it a lot more. It's still kind of nerve-wracking, but it's awesome. And I think that I have a pretty good message, a quick little message for you guys for this live at lunch session. So God has been dealing with me a lot on strength and a lot on just being strong. As a single mom, things can kind of be draining, and it can get tough. Life can get really tough, and sometimes we just need to know, how to push forward, and sometimes we just need, a little pick me up, in order to get back up and keep pushing. So I am going to go on and get started. I am going to talk about 3 things that drain us of our strength, and 4 things that where we can find strength. So we're going to go on and get started. So the first thing that can drain your strength is holding on to the past or poor choices that you've made. I know holding on to regret and focusing on mistakes that you made can be really life draining. It can keep you stuck. It can keep you from moving forward. The decisions that you made in your past are gone. They're done. You've already done it. You need to let it go, and you need to own it. A lot of those decisions that you made back then, they've made you who you are today, and you need to own that. You need to take responsibility of that. In my case, yes, Jalecia, you were in that horrible relationship. It was very unhealthy. You knew it. You knew better, but you chose to stay in it. That was a decision that you made. Yes, Jalecia, you decided to keep your baby when you got pregnant, and you decided to make the decision to be a mom, even though his dad pretty much told you that he hates your guts, and that he wasn't going to be there in his life. You made the decision to continue on and be a mom, even though you didn't know where your support or where anything was coming from. That was a decision that I made, and I am owning that. I'm taking responsibility for those decisions that I made, and I'm moving forward with them because those decisions made me who I am today through that process that I went through. What you did in the past has already been done. It's gone. Nothing you can do about it. It made you who you are today, and you can make the decision today on the type of choices that you will make that will mold you into the woman you'll be tomorrow. Tweet that. It was actually kind of long, so take that note and then tweet it in a little shorter version. Another thing is your poor choices. A lot of times we have these voids and different things that have damaged us, and that have created these holes within our hearts and stuff like that. We try to fill that up with temporary things or things that aren't healthy for us. And no temporary fix will sustain a God-given hole that only God can fill. And that is something that we have to remember always. You can't eat your emotions away. You can't keep having sex with guy after guy after guy, or getting all these bad relationships and really expect to be healed from it. It's not going to help. You have to stop filling your voids with things that are temporary, filling your voids with things that aren't really going to fill. They're actually making the hole deeper and bigger, and only God is going to be able to heal that. And that's something that you need to remember. So you have to know that those things, doing that stuff, is what is draining more of your strength out of you. Another thing that drains your strength is the pressure of perfection. Moms, we do a whole bunch of stuff all the time. And not only do we do a lot of stuff all the time, but we also try to be perfect at it. And we try to be like these super awesome super moms. And it's not possible. We can't do it. We're only one person. We need to have realistic expectations for ourselves. We need to, with us being only one person, there's only one role that we can fill, and that's being a mother, being the woman of God that God has called us to be in our child's life. And really, we put this pressure on ourselves, and our kids aren't even expecting us to be these super awesome people. They're expecting us to just love on them and be there for them and do what we have to do. I mean, really, if you really think about it, Cameron, we were having this conversation the other day, and Cameron was talking about all the superpowers that he had, and he was like, Mom, you have superpowers too. And I was like, really? I was like, what kind of superpowers do I have? And he was like, well, you got warming superpower. And I was like, what is a warming superpower? And he was like, well, when I get cold, like when I'm sleeping, you can warm me up. Something so simple as that. Like, kids will always see a superwoman no matter what, because they love you. And that's, we put pressure on ourselves to be these super awesome people, but they already think that. They already think that we're amazing, and we need to take so much expectation off of ourselves and take off the pressure off ourselves to be these super awesome people. Just be who God created you to be, and rely on the grace of God to cover and to fill and take care of the things that are lacking in your lives, as far as, like, if you're a single mom and lack of a father or different stuff like that. God is going to take care of that, and He's going to fill those areas that are lacking. Also, sometimes we just need to hear that we're doing a good job. Listen, you do so much. And we already have the pressures of, we have to be an awesome person, but we also have to raise an awesome person. We have that pressure on us. We have to raise awesome little people to do great things in the world. Listen, you're doing a really good job. I want you to know that, in case nobody ever tells you that ever, or you never hear it, you're doing great. You're doing an awesome job. You're an amazing parent. And sometimes you need to stop and tell yourself that. Really, just sit back and think about your situation. Think about all the things that you're doing. I mean, you're working hard. You're working 40 plus hours a week. You're still cooking and cleaning and, making sure that your kids get up and get dressed for school, and your kids are still they're doing great in school, and you take the time to read stories to them and different, like, that's awesome. You're doing amazing. And there are a lot of people in this world that choose not to do this, or they can't do that. They don't have the capacity to do it, and bad things happen from that, suicide, mothers, freaking out and killing their kids and different, like, they do, like, all this stuff happens. Bad things happen from this, because some people can't handle it. Look at you. You're still standing here. You're still standing here, strong, loving your kids. Keep doing it. You're doing an amazing job. You're doing an amazing job. The last thing that can drain our strength is caring about what others think. The only opinion that matters when it comes to your life and your child's life is God's opinion. Period. Point blank. Now, one of the opinions that really doesn't matter is, and this is only if it's like a negative situation, like the father's opinion, the father of your children. A lot of times, if it's a negative situation, a lot of times, they will speak down on you, or you're always fighting with them, and you're trying to prove yourself to them, or you're worrying about just different things that's happening in their lives, and they're speaking all this stuff like, oh, you can't do this, and you're this and you're that, you're a horrible mother. Like, their opinion doesn't matter. Don't internalize what they're saying. That's not what it is. You're amazing. You're doing an amazing job, and God has told you that you're amazing. So his opinion is the only opinion that matters. Don't let what he says control your emotions, because in the end, like, that affects your child too, and it drains you, and it makes you not want to continue, and you need to you can't really get rid of him out of your life, but you don't have to internalize what he says. You need to know the truth for yourself, and what God says about you, and his opinion is the only thing that matters. Another opinion that doesn't matter is when people try to tell you how to parent your children. It annoys the mess out of me. And it annoys me even more when people try to tell me how to parent that aren't parents. Stop it. Don't listen to those people. You be the best parent that you can be. Like, it makes no sense that you're not a parent, so you're telling me that, oh, I would do this if I had kids and different stuff. No, they wouldn't. They don't know how their kids are, so they have no idea what they would do. Opinion. That going back to that pressure is putting pressure on yourself to be this perfect parent or do what people think that you should do. No, you be the best parent that you know how to be. You raise your kids up in the way that they should go, and I'm telling you, that's the only thing that you need to worry about. Period. The way God asks you to be a parent through his word, that you learn through his word, is how you're supposed to be a parent. Sorry, I got this group message going on. So that's another thing that can drain you. We're not going to let that stuff drain us anymore. So now I'm going to get into where to find your strength. Christ, the first place where you're going to find, and first and only place where you're going to mainly find your strength is in God and God alone. God is our strength. He gives us strength when we need it. When we cry out for it. In those times where you're feeling like super weak and there are areas that you just can't fulfill, like, the great thing about it is that you don't have to. God's strength is made perfect through through our weakness and through different stuff that we go through that we can't handle. God gives you the strength and God has already given you the strength that you need to make it. I truly, honestly believe that God already knew that I was going to be a single mother for a season in my life. And I truly believe that God has already given me, he has made me and placed in me the strength that I need in order to take care of my son on my own at this time. And I truly believe that, and I rest in that that God knows, and that God is, and he's given me more and more strength daily as I grow, through this process. And here are a couple scriptures that I have for this. That shows that, God gives us strength and he is our strength. Exodus 15:2, the Lord is my strength and my song. He has given me victory. This is my God and I will praise him, my father's God, and I will exalt him. I thought that was a really good one. Another really great one is Psalms 138:3. In the day when I cried out, you answered me and made me bold with strength in my soul. Ooh, that's a good one. And the one that everybody always says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's always a good one. And I got this quote, which is I thought was really great. It says, his strength is perfect when our strength is gone. He'll carry us when we can't carry on. Raised in his power, the weak became strong. His strength is perfect. I don't have to. All of this kind of ties in together when it comes to, like, you know, the pressure and trying to work super hard. And sorry, my deal is kind of, I think I made it worse. When I'm trying to, you know, work really hard, or when I'm trying to be this perfect parent and trying to be this perfect woman and do all this other kind of stuff, and I completely deplete myself of all the strength that, you know, I had, or I may have, you know, built up over time. Even in those times that I do and I have no strength, God is there and He gives me that strength. And it's amazing how amazing He can be in our lives, and that He is that for us. So yeah. Another way in Christ that you can find strength is we have to get still before God. I was reading this yesterday in my in this book that I'm reading called Intimacy with God, and gosh, it's so good. It's so good. And I was just like, man, that makes complete sense. On how, you know, you can build yourself up and, you know, gain strength and different things like that. I think, let me read it first. So when we deliberately choose to be silent before God, He quiets our thoughts and gives us His. He reminds us of His love, of His sovereign care, of His tender mercies, of all that awaits us in eternity. He gives us encouragement and wisdom, and whispers the ancient stories that for centuries has convinced generations of His power and majesty. He reassures us that no matter what we encounter in our lives, He will be sufficient, that His loving, omnipotent presence will be enough, but silence is a prerequisite for hearing Him. In stillness before God, and just like your quiet time, having that quiet time before God, God is able to fill you up. Throughout the day, circumstances don't change. You know, the father of your children may still be acting a hot mess. You don't know when you can pay your rent. You know, your kids are acting up in school. I mean, life is happening all day, period. If you're not getting still before God, God told us that He is our strength. To access that, to know that, to really get that in your spirit, to have God be that for us, it requires us to get still before God and to have that quiet time with Him, for Him to fill us up, you know, with the wisdom to handle the certain situation, with the comfort to be able to guard our heart with, to fill us up with just everything that we need. I mean, it requires us being still before God and letting Him do that for us. We can't just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going, and then expect God to be our strength when we haven't even tried to access that, or we haven't even tried to, ask God to be that for us. I mean, because God is not going to force this upon us. He's not going to make us, want Him to be our strength, or to be our complete, us be completely dependent on Him. And this really got me, this scripture, it just hit me in the head. I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. But Isaiah 30:15, and I'm going to read both the Message and the New Living Translation, because they are both really good. But God the Master, the Holy of Israel, has this solemn counsel. Your salvation requires you to turn back to me and stop your silly efforts to save yourselves, trying to rely on our own strength. Your strength will come from settling down. Hey, friend, I see you made it. We got one person on. But God plus one is the majority. That's all that matters. Your strength will come from settling down in complete dependence on me. That's where your strength comes from. Being completely dependent on God and not on your own. Not on you. Like, your own strength will not make it. Period. Point blank. You won't make it without it. But this is this is what's funny. It says, your strength will come from settling down and complete dependence on me, the very thing you've been unwilling to do. Like God just kind of slapped me in the face, like, this is where your strength is going to come from, but you're not willing to do what you need to do to get it. So I mean, I don't know for you, but that kind of kicked me in the butt. Anyways, here's the New Living Translation. This is what the Sovereign Lord says, the Holy One of Israel. Only in returning to me and resting in me will you be saved. In quietness and confidence is your strength, but you will have none of it. In order to get confident in God in our situations and to have the strength to carry on, it's going to require us to get still before God, period. Done. Like, that's it. That's where your strength is going to come from. That's where with God being our main source of strength, that's where it's going to come from. That's how you're going to access it. That's how you're going to get in, how you're going to be able to keep pressing and keep going. So anyways, it's really big, but we can't rely on ourselves. I kind of spent a little too much time on that, but that's it. That's so important. That's where our main source of strength comes from, so that would make sense. Another place you can find strength is through community. Do not be afraid to reach out for help. Sometimes we can get prideful. Sometimes we can worry about, I don't want to put my kids on somebody else. Or, I don't really want to ask anybody else, for any money, even though I really need to pay this, bill. Listen, don't be afraid to ask for help. Here's a question that you can ask yourself. If somebody were to come to me or you and ask you for help, you would help them, right? Unless, you might be a bad person. Well, then you probably shouldn't be asking other people for stuff, because if you wouldn't help anybody, you don't really. Anyways, sorry. Bring it back. There are people that are willing to help you, and you're never going to know if there are people willing to help you if you never reach out and ask anybody. Always look out to the community and ask people for help. Another way is to surround yourself with people that can build you up and keep you moving forward, and not just with other, single moms in case of a single mom, but also dual parents too. Because we can all help each other when it comes to community. I know one thing, and even though there are a lot of people on here, but hopefully they'll actually listen to the Periscope, but we are going to be next week we're going to be inviting single moms to just bring their kids over so they can have a couple hours to themselves and just go off and do whatever they want. That is what a community will do for you. But nobody is ever going to know that you need help, or that your strength is depleted, or that you're struggling or you're feeling weak if you don't reach out to anybody. So community is very important in strengthening you. Another way, my third way of finding strength is in good health. Listen, we have to eat right and exercise. I'm not saying all the time. I get it. Sometimes you want to do a quick meal. Sometimes, time, that's all time allows. But we still can make better choices. We don't have to always, you can prep your food at the beginning of the week. Find time to prep your food at the beginning of the week, so that you don't have to worry about finding time throughout the week to cook something. You can, it comes to a matter of choices. You can choose Subway instead of McDonald's. Subway is not even as healthy either, but it's healthier than McDonald's. It's just a matter of making better choices. And then exercising. Get out with your kids and go for a walk and let them ride on their scooter or something, or go run with you, or different. There's ways that you can do it. But I will say, as I've been losing weight and, working out more and stuff like that, it's helped me with, my anxiousness and, being sad and, different stuff like that. It's helped me so much. And so it's so important to eat right and to exercise. It really helps you in keeping your strength built up. Also, me time, or mental and emotional time. You shouldn't feel guilty for having time to yourself or wanting time to yourself. There are times that I mean, and this isn't just for single moms, this is for moms in general, or just people in general that are surrounded by people all the time. You know, everybody needs to recharge every once in a while. Like, you can only give, do so much before, like, you're just completely weak. It's okay to invest in yourself every once in a while. It's okay to, you know, moms totally know this statement, and they totally understand, like, we need more than our actually closing the door behind us when we go to the bathroom for 5 minutes and locking the door. You need more than that. I know that can be like, that's the only peaceful time that you actually get, but you need more than that. Sometimes just take the time and schedule some time this week, next week, whichever, and actually pencil in and take 15 minutes to go read a book. Go catch a movie. I love going to the Dollar Theater. It costs me $2 to go watch a movie that I don't have to pay full price for. You just gotta wait a little, more time for the good movies to actually get there. But I love watching movies, so catching a dollar movie is nothing for me. Go for a walk, just for 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes. If you're not able to, leave your kids, at home, just go in your room, shut your door for a second, and explain to your kids, listen, mommy needs some me time. And that's okay. That's okay to have that, because you need to recharge, and you need to do it. And you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for them too, because if you're not in a good state, your home is not going to be in a good state, period, point blank. My last thing is finding strength. You're going to find strength in the process. Our deepest strength comes during times of molding, stretching outside of our comfort zones, and difficulty. When I made the decision to keep Cameron, and knowing I was going to be a single mom, I had no idea how long I'd be a single mom. But God has changed me, and He has molded me, and He has really grown me up in this process. And I mean, I love helping women and grow and let them know that they can excel in life. I wouldn't have ever known that had I not gone through this process, and I wouldn't be speaking on this Periscope right now had I wouldn't even imagine myself 5 years ago doing this. I wouldn't have done this had not it been for the process that I've gone through. Through the process, you learn to sacrifice, you learn how to make things work, you learn the important things in life, and you learn how to depend on God. I mean, the process, strength comes over time, of course, but you're a stronger person. Like, you're a much stronger person. I am much stronger than when I was 19. I'm a much stronger woman than I was then. I don't deal with certain things. I don't let certain things bother me. It's a growth process. It's tough. It's difficult, but you grow and you become stronger. And that's another thing that you would find strength in. So, listen, I just want, first of all, I want to just give a small shout out to single moms, and I want to tell you to keep moving forward, keep going, keep pressing, keep holding on. God is doing something so amazing in your life, and God is he believes that not only are you special, but your kids are special, and He has amazing plans for them, and you can't give up. You really don't have that choice. And I want the strength that God has already put in you. I really want you to work really hard and focus on finding that strength, because it's there. You just have to find it. It's there. Every day that you get up again and you go through that whole process of dealing with all this stuff all over again, the fact that you got up just to do it again, like, there's strength inside of you. That's what strength is. And I really want you guys to just really find that and access it so that you can be able to use it, all throughout the day. God is on your side. God is on your side. He's got people out there for you. He didn't mean for you to do this life alone. And I really wanted you guys to know that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little session. I'm late for getting back to work. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And please share with everybody. Please, comment, let us know, send us, prayer requests. How can we pray for you? How can we help strengthen you? And how can, what can we do for you? How can we serve you is what Fierce, Faithful, and Fabulous really wants to know. Yes, please email us at fiercefaithfulfabulous@gmail.com. With all your prayer requests, with all your suggestions, and you can follow us on all social media at Fierce Faith Fab 1, and then Fierce Faithful Fabulous on Facebook as well. We look forward. Oh, also, yes, thank you for the reminder. We are going to be having our first prayer call Saturday morning at 7 a.m. So we look forward to you guys being on that call with us, and as we start to just gain more power. God is available. He is available, and he is willing, and he has, he wants us to start walking in power, and we need to stop being weak. We're not weak. And it's time to start walking in that. So I'm out. I'm just talking right now. I'm out. I will talk to you guys later. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.